Thanks for tuning in to our midweek conversation at First Baptist Church Sweetwater, where we strive to be first responders of God's love. I'm Jerry Hendricks. I'm here with my good friend and partner in ministry here at First Baptist, T. Hamilton, fresh back from camp.
Fresh back.
Well, I don't know if fresh is the right word for this.
No, I'm feeling good today.
Yeah, I was feeling good until about 11 o'clock this morning. And then all of a sudden my energy left. Had to find some pick-me-up drinks.
I was, 11 o'clock was Bible study, and the format's been changed to our youth minister meetings at 8:30 now,
right,
and not at 11. And so I had to find something to do during Bible study because I found out if I went and watched our groups do their Bible study, I was a distraction. And so I had a book that I was reading, and I finished that book during the week. It was Brueggemann praying the Psalms.
You did that at camp?
Yeah. It's only 5 chapters, and they were each essays, so
that's
about
some
17
deep reading for youth camp.
Yeah, it was good.
Right?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, way to go.
So got through it.
I just tried to get through camp.
It made it.
Yeah. So yes, we did make it.
One down, 2 to go.
It was a great week of camp. It was a little smaller than normal, but really no glitches. It was hot, but
I told the kids ahead of time. I said, we all know it's going to be hot. It's Texas. Be happy with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it one time. And I don't remember any of them telling me that.
Yeah.
No one complained about cold either.
Well, this summer, this weird early heat wave we've had has wind with it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when it gets so high, like over 105, it seems like it gets real still. And that's, to me, when it's just hard to deal with. But anyways, we're not meteorologists here. We're just a couple of ministers trying to...
No, we're correct more often.
No, there's no doubt about that.
You were talking about it being a little smaller than usual, but it worked out great because our kids got to do everything they wanted to do during free time. From rock wall to zip line. Yeah. And some of them did multiple things. I'm going to zip line 2 or 3 times because it flowed so well. There were people who played paintball. I'm not a paintballer. Yeah. I don't like that at all. It hurts. But we had kids who are blobbing. I mean, it went really good.
And the new element this year that we were able to add as a part of recreation was, I think they call it the Milk Box Challenge.
Yeah, it was awful.
And apparently someone challenged you.
Yeah, and misled me. I'm going to say that. And I don't know if she watched this
this goes on the World Wide Web,
yeah,
right?
I don't know if she watched this or not, but we'll find out before long. She said, we'll only go 3 or 4 levels high. I was like, okay.
And she was our friend. She
was our friend. My friend.
She's the youth minister at First Baptist Rotan, a youth worker that you trained.
Right. She was one of my best youth workers I ever had.
Linda Nelson.
Yep. But now she's dead too.
And she won.
Oh yeah. I wasn't going anywhere. I was done. That was terrifying. And for those of you who don't know what it is, they're milk crates that you see like Gandy's milk in. And they stacked them up, and you had to go up higher and higher and higher. And I think I got to 9 levels, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
We
had a harness.
You're harnessed.
It was safe.
And there was a couple of people got 15. I think in their training they said 15 was the highest, but we had a girl that hit 16 boxes.
Wow!
And so it was fun.
It was
fun to watch
shakes.
it. Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Not from my perspective when I was up there.
Yeah, well, so it was a good week, and I know our students had a good time. I was able to be at one of the church times that evening, and that's fun to hear. For me to step back into that world and to hear students talk about their faith.
Right.
That's very encouraging for our church, I think.
Hear how they processed the day and
this was on
Bible study.
The next to the last night.
Right.
So at that point. Things were starting to make sense for them, but
you missed one of the fun things of that night. One of our girls, Carly Jo, she likes to draw.
Yeah.
Like she's an artist, and I said, well, how about I get you some paper and pens, and you draw what you hear in worship, like whatever, however God speaks to you, you live that out or you show that in art. And she did, it was a prodigal son story, and so she's showing it to me. And the detail she put into it, the way she thought about it was so good.
Oh, great.
So good. It was really cool. She was explaining it all to me. It was good.
I was there for the part 1 of that message, and then the second night he did the older son.
Right. And
I didn't hear that one, but Tyler did just a great job all week, particularly that message I felt like was one that really hit home with us.
Yeah.
So
such a difficult, not a difficult passage, but we overlook the older son all the time.
Yeah.
Probably because we relate to the older son.
Yeah, this could be. Well, we had a good Sunday here without you guys, and obviously you were missed.
That sounded weird.
What?
We had a good Sunday here this week without you guys.
No, it wasn't that way. Even though you guys were not here,
there
we had a good Sunday. Good. And a Father's Day Sunday. A lot of folks were here, and so it was a good time. We covered a passage that I think you've told me. I think you're probably more prone to like this story from Mark's Gospel, but it was from Luke.
Okay.
And Jesus healed or cast out demons from this man that was living in the cemetery.
Yeah. And
he cast the demons into a bunch of pigs.
Favorite story in Scripture.
So I've heard you say that. In fact, I've heard you say that recently. And so it stuck out this week, and I thought, well, this would be the best time to ask you, why is that your favorite story?
There's so much about it, but I love the context of Jesus gets out and does this whole experience with this guy in the tombs. The entire town had turned him away and said, we don't want anything to do. You scare us. We don't want you. And they didn't care about him. Jesus comes, shows care. The disciples never say anything. And so Jesus is the only one investing in him, showing him care. And then it says he was seated, clothed in his right mind. Well, where did he get the clothes from? It wasn't from the disciples. Most likely, Jesus probably gave him the clothes off his own back. And it's such a cool model of how we should look at the least of these, and how when someone's in need, don't go looking around trying to get the town to take care of it or disciples take care of it. Just step up and do it yourself. Yeah. Meet that need. And I love that story. And I get a funny picture in my head when I picture the pig herders. I don't know if you'd call it like shepherds or sheep herders.
We didn't go that far into the end of the story. But.
Well, when all these pigs that they're in charge of go off the cliff and they're like, we got to tell our story first. I said, that's exactly what little brothers do. Little brothers have to tell their story first, so they're the one believed. And that they take off running and tell the story. No kidding, guys. All these pigs just ran off. It wasn't us. And just my mind, that's a funny picture. And it also relates to kind of Scooby-Doo to me, which that was my cartoon growing up. They're coming off the sea after they've had the storm, and so you got the thunder and lightning in the background, and they bump into the edge of the land. They step out, and the disciples are like, oh, we're in a cemetery. Great. I'll take my chances with the storm. And so I'm not sure they ever even get out of the boat. But I love that whole thing. The story tells so great, and it's just a picture of what we should do when we see a need. Just meet the need.
Yeah.
And show people love no matter what other people think of them.
Yeah, and I think the picture of the transformation of that man, of going home instead of staying in the cemetery, of being clothed rather than naked, and so there's a lot about that story that you can't cover in one Sunday, but it was a really good text. The series that or Luke, as you start to look into it, like we're going to do this summer, the title for it is A Gospel for Everyone. I mean, that's kind of how commentators categorize it, and so you see Jesus going into the Gentile areas.
Right.
And so I believe this was the first time that a Gentile approached Jesus. I believe that's the way this story sets up.
And it was a Gentile that was filled with demons.
It was an interesting one, to say the least.
And then he says, I want to go with you. And Jesus like, no, you need to stay here because these people don't want me here. They're scared of me and what I do to their economy, to everything. And so then he goes to the 10 cities. He doesn't just go home and tell people. He goes and tells everybody.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a camp picture. When a kid goes to camp and their life has changed, they want to tell everybody about it when they get home. Mm-hmm. And so that's really cool.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I think we have a baptism coming up.
July 10th.
Camp. So,
Katie Lopez.
Yeah. That's going to be an exciting day for us. And we look forward to that. I know that you have been talking to her for some time.
Yep. I'm excited about it. She's excited about it.
I love the family and love those kids. So that'll be a great time. That'll be just in a few weeks, I guess, that we'll get to do that. This Sunday is another pivotal Sunday in the life of our church. It's P3 Sunday. Yep. And this is not, even though P3 is several years old, longer than my tenure, almost longer than yours, right?
Yeah. It started the first summer I was here.
Okay. But we started this since I've been here, this beginning or focusing on P3 on the Sunday before the week starts.
Right.
and giving it attention in the worship service.
Yeah, we commission those teams as they're going out to minister in the neighborhoods, and we also get to give a glimpse to the people in the congregation of what happens during P3.
Yeah, and I think it's still a consistent part of our church that we have more people involved in this one thing than anything else that we do in the life of the church.
I was talking to my mom last night, and I was telling her about P3 Sunday and what we do and everything. And I said, what's really cool is when we commission those teams and you have them come forward, you got 120 people there, you got 80 people going to the front. Mm-hmm. Because they're all involved in one way or another.
Virtually everyone, yeah.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to that week, and our lessons are called gatherings.
Gatherings, yep.
Yeah.
It's all the different ways that there are crowds and gatherings in Scripture.
Okay, and I think one of the things our church does well, I believe there's several, but one is theme development through Scripture stories. We do that a lot. We do it through P3, we do it through KidX and Youth on Wednesday nights. Right. And so this will be another one of those that, it is more challenging, I think, for you guys on the creative side.
But it's fun when it builds.
Yeah, and be a good time. So when they're on the P3 site, they eat, they have a story.
Yep, puppets, songs, memory verse game, and then like recreation games.
Okay, and it's all theme oriented. What is
even the games?
What do you know? What the memory verse is?
I think it's Acts 1:8.
Okay, so we'll be memorizing that on Sunday, and it is amazing how the kids actually do. They get that by the end of the week.
Oh, they'll have it by day 2.
Yeah,
and that's without we don't do the whole. If you memorize it and come back, we'll give you a gold star or popsicle. Right. We're going to give popsicles away no matter what. Yeah. That's just fun. But they get into it, they go home and they work with their parents. They come back the next day and they've got most of it down. Yeah. And then you play more games with them and they get it.
Yeah. Well, it's the highlight of our year. You look at, when you think about the rhythm we have, the natural parts that have that fun, excitement, and energy are, I think, the Advent and the Easter season. Mm-hmm. But as far as the things that we get to do and participate and share ourself with the community is P3, and so it's. I don't know if there's anything more exciting that we do, and we certainly look forward to it.